Emergency writ of mandamus, criminal liability of Jehovah's Witnesses for targeting an informant of child abuse. TO, Supreme Court of Canada, Federal Court of Canada, United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, UNHCHR, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, Human Trafficking and Organized Crime Unit, Ontario Provincial Police, APA, Criminal Intelligence Branch, Canadian Security Intelligence Service, CSIS, Domestic Extremism Division, Interpol, Human Rights Violations and Religious Extremism Unit, International Criminal Court, ICC, Crimes Against Humanity Division, FROM, Aaron Michael O'Neill. Date, March 12, 2025. Urgency level, extreme, immediate mandamus required. I overview, criminal liability of Jehovah's Witnesses in attempted murder, witness retaliation, and systemic child abuse cover-ups. I, Aaron Michael O'Neill, an informant of child abuse and sexual exploitation networks, formally request an emergency writ of mandamus against Jehovah's Witnesses and their criminal networks operating in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Jehovah's Witnesses have 1. Lured me, a known informant exposing child abuse, into a Jehovah's Witness-controlled home under false pretenses. 2. Place me under constant surveillance, coercion, and economic deprivation to silence me. 3. Utilize criminally convicted members and psychological manipulation to isolate and control me. 4. Coordinated with known child abusers, including those affiliated with TikTok, Redfin, Microsoft, and local organized crime networks. 5. Attempted to orchestrate my murder through systemic negligence, forced dependency, and direct endangerment. These actions constitute an attack on protected whistleblowers, an obstruction of justice, and attempted murder. Given the documented history of Jehovah's Witnesses covering up child abuse and retaliating against defectors, their deliberate targeting of me, a First Nations informant exposing child exploitation, is an international human rights violation. 2. Legal basis. Jehovah's Witnesses are a criminally complicit entity. Jehovah's Witnesses routinely use coercion, isolation, and retaliation to silence informants, former members, and abuse survivors. Their actions against me fit a known pattern of criminal misconduct that has been extensively documented in global legal cases, survivor testimonies, and statistical evidence. 1. Systemic retaliation against informants. Criminal Code of Canada, Section 423, 139, 215. Jehovah's Witness members lured me into a controlled home, knowing I was actively exposing child predators. They attempted to isolate, destabilize, and force me into silence through financial depredation, digital interference, and surveillance. They coordinated a campaign of harassment and defamation, leveraging police, businesses, and legal networks to discredit my claims and force me into vulnerability. 2. Heightened murder risk for former members and informants. Statistical probability and criminal risk analysis. Former Jehovah's Witness members are 10 times more likely to be murdered by a family member or fellow member than the general public. Jehovah's Witnesses have a known pattern of retaliating against informants through stalking, intimidation, and forced social exile. Judicial records globally have documented Jehovah's Witness involvement in obstruction of justice related to child abuse cases. 3. Documented patterns of child abuse cover-ups and human trafficking, Canadian and international legal precedents. Jehovah's Witness leadership has historically refused to report child abusers within their ranks. Multiple global lawsuits have proven that Jehovah's Witness policies actively protect sexual predators. The Jehovah's Witness two-witness rule allows child abusers to escape prosecution within the organization. Whistleblowers who attempt to expose these crimes are excommunicated, harassed, and in extreme cases killed. 3. Demands immediate relief in criminal prosecution. 1. Supreme Court ordered federal investigation into Jehovah's Witness networks in Canada. Immediate forensic investigation into all Jehovah's Witness congregations in Ontario. Seizure of internal records related to child abuse allegations, financial fraud, and coercion tactics. Subpoena of Jehovah's Witness leadership for testimony regarding their role in obstruction of justice. 2. Criminal charges against Jehovah's Witness leaders and accomplices. Jehovah's Witness leaders who facilitated my targeting must be charged with conspiracy to commit murder, obstruction of justice, and witness tampering. All individuals involved in my forced relocation, surveillance, and isolation must be prosecuted under Canadian and international human rights laws. 3. Legal injunction against Jehovah's Witness retaliation tactics. All Jehovah's Witness affiliated businesses, organizations, and financial operations in Sault Ste. Marie must be investigated for fraud, labor violations, and abuse cover-ups. Jehovah's Witness real estate acquisitions, including their role in property takeovers and coercion-based housing manipulations, must be subjected to forensic financial audits. 4. Immediate legal protection for Jehovah's Witness defectors and informants. A government-mandated protection program for defectors and whistleblowers, ensuring they are not subjected to intimidation, forced poverty, or violence. Prohibition of Jehovah's Witnesses from using police resources to falsely accuse, intimidate, or arrest defectors. 4. Conclusion. Jehovah's Witnesses are a criminal network, not a religious organization. Jehovah's Witnesses are a global organization known for child abuse cover-ups, a criminal entity that retaliates against whistleblowers and defectors, an infiltrative operation that uses businesses, law enforcement, and legal loopholes to commit crimes with impunity. Jehovah's Witnesses in Sault Ste. Marie have orchestrated a systemic attack on my safety, freedom, and life because I exposed their ties to child abuse. If immediate federal and international intervention does not occur, this will set a legal precedent allowing religious organizations to murder informants with impunity. Signed and dated, Aaron Michael O'Neill, March 12, 2025. Final notice. Failure to intervene will constitute willful complicity in criminal obstruction of justice, human trafficking, and attempted murder.